Thy pleasant valleys, groves and swelling hills clothe their verdant beauty, all must own unrivalled in the land. But not alone, thy fair domain, romantic Devon, fills the gazer with entrancement.
The music you love.
The news you need.
104.4 FM, West Somerset Radio.
This is West Somerset Radio 104.4. If you've just joined us, I'm here with Sir Clive Barrington Mills. This is part of our series interviewing local people from the West Country who have gone on to become eminent leaders in their profession. Sir Clive, welcome.
Thank you.
So first of all, if you would just tell us a bit about that sonnet that you just read for us.
Well, I only came across it a few weeks ago. I don't know who wrote it, but it links two of the important parts of my life, Devon and the railway. I just came across it by chance in an ancient edition of the Great Western Railway magazine.
So you're a bit of a railway enthusiast.
Well, yes, and a collector. My wife would describe it as a hoarder. That sonnet, I think, paints a marvellous picture of Devon, which has been my home base for the majority of my life and holds a special place in my heart.
So you grew up there?
Yes, in part. I was away at school in Winchester, but holidays were always spent with my great-aunt Virginia at Filly, near Barnstaple.
Or how did a young boy in Devon get interested in the railway?
Funnily enough, it didn't start that way. I would always favour travelling down south by road rather than catch the train. That's not me, by the way. That's my friend Henry. I've been staying with him during the summer break.
Clive, old chum, have you ever slept? It's nearly 11. Aren't you supposed to be going down to Devon or something?
What day is it?
Saturday. You're supposed to be visiting your aunt, was it?
What? Yes. Why didn't you wake me? It's my great aunt. She'll go berserk. Why didn't you wake me?
Sorry, old chum, I sort of overslept myself. Okay, you get yourself ready and I'll go rustle up some breakfast for you. Why is it you have to go down there again?
Oh, it's all because I turned 21 last week. Great Aunt Virginia has arranged a special birthday lunch. And then this afternoon, I'm supposed to be hearing the particulars of my inheritance. Well, she's got solicitors and people from the railway coming over and everything. I can't be late.
Your inheritance, eh?
Thank you, Henry. I'll have to take the toast with me, I'm afraid.
Sorry about that, old chum. I had no idea at the time. How long will it take you to drive to Devon?
Good few hours, I think. Still, at least we'll be able to see what the new car's made of. Dashed nuisance, so would be today. Listen, thanks for putting me up, and make sure you say goodbye to your parents for me. Sorry about this morning. It's not your fault, eh?
behind too?
It's me, Clive.
Oh, Clive! Don't tell me you haven't left yet. What time is it?
I've hit a bit of a snag, I'm afraid. The Lancia's broken down. Dashing nuisance.
What?
I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to make it for lunch.
Broken down, you say? Where exactly?
Well, I left Ilminster at 11. I'd only been travelling about 10 minutes when I lost all power. I've just managed to swing the car into a pub car park. And I'm ringing you now from a public phone box. No idea where I am, to be honest.
So there's still plenty of time. Look, Clive, if you can't make lunch, well then it doesn't really matter. But you absolutely must be here for the meeting at 3:30.
But Aunt Virginia, even if I do manage to find a mechanic, they'll need some time to fix it.
Well, go and ask for help in the pub.
It's the middle of the morning. They won't even be open.
Just use your initiative, Clive. You can leave your car there until it's mended, and then you can ask whoever to either ring for a taxi or better still, Clive, ask them to give you a lift to Taunton Station. And then you can travel on down here by train.
By train?
Yes, Clive, by train. It's perfectly fitting that you should travel by train today because of all the family connections to the Devon and Somerset Railway.
I know, but the train? What about my Lancia? I can't just leave her.
Oh, Clive, of course you can. You can hand over your keys to the landlord or whoever. It'll be perfectly safe there. Well then, if you get your skates on, you can be in Taunton Station by lunchtime and let me know what train you catch and I'll be there to meet you at the station. Oh, Clive, don't forget the book.
But Aunt... This is jolly good of you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Single transport, please. Thank you.
This is Taunton. The train standing at platform 1 is the Wolverhampton low level to Ilfracombe and Minehead service. The train will divide. The front 5 coaches will call at Milverton, Wivelisco, Dalverton, South Malton, Barnstable Junction, and all stations to Ilfracombe. The rear 5 coaches will be parked at all stations in the Minehead.
May I join you? Unless, of course, you're expecting someone else.
Yes. I mean, no. I'm not expecting anyone else. Please, take a seat.
Oh.
May I help you with that?
No, thank you, I'm fine. I don't think he'd like it if I handed him to a stranger. A kitten in my basket. My kitten.
I see.
Bless you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from.
Oh, you're not allergic to cats? It's not Teddy, is it?
No, at least I don't think so. We've always had dogs. Teddy?
Teddy Bear. I only named him today. It's after that song. Everyone's singing it. Have you heard it? Elvis Presley.
Yes, I see.
I was walking past the bakery in Milverton this morning and someone inside was whistling it. And that's when I decided he was going to be Teddy Bear. He's got a furry little face. He looks a bit like a teddy bear. Well, he does now anyway. When he grows up, he can just be Ted.
Or Bear.
Maybe, yes. Bear.
You like Elvis then?
Oh, yes. Doesn't everybody?
Tickets, please. Lovely afternoon for a run down to Barnstable. What have you got there then?
Kitten.
Oh, I'll have to charge you extra for him. Only joking. He's only a little fella, isn't he? Oh, he's not going to harm anyone. Well, hey, what are you two doing and taking a trip to Devon then?
Oh, we're not together. No, I'm just coming down from Taunton, going to visit family down in Philly.
Oh, I do apologise. Always trying to marry people off, I am. Oh, I'll get myself into trouble one of these days. Oh, I do apologise. Cool. Hey, what's you got here then? Hey, are you a bit of a railway enthusiast?
No, not really. By all means, take a look. I'm just running it down as a family favour. Somebody in the family has written it, I think, but it's not really my sort of thing.
Well, it should be. It's marvellous thing is our railway. A lot of history in this line as well, as I can tell you. Yeah, blood, sweat and tears. Wiveliscombe, for example, next stop. My grandfather died when they were building that line there.
Died? Was he crushed or something?
Nothing like that. He got sick with cholera.
Really?
Yeah, well, that's what they said. There was navvies came to work on the line, and one of them must have brought it with them. That's what they say. They didn't know what 'twas, so they took him into town for treatment, and within an hour he was a dead 'un. And then another one went down with it, and then a child, and then they had to put the town into quarantine. Oh, then 2 more died.
and one of them was my grandfather.
How sad.
It's all before my time, of course. I didn't know him, but the tale's been handed down through the family. It must be 100 years or more now.
I didn't know.
Anyway, I can't stand here chatting, so I'll leave you to carry on with your journey then. Sorry. I'll leave you two to get on with your journey then. Wiveliscombe we'll be pulling into now.
You're really not like trains very much.
I can't say that I do, no. I love cars. The only reason I'm taking the train down this morning is because my Lancia broke down.
Ooh, a Lancia.
Yes, she's a beauty. Now hauled up in some godforsaken pub car park in the middle of nowhere, whilst I travel down to Philly without her. Dash a shame.
You've got your book.
Yes, I know. Silly, really, isn't it? My family's always been involved in the railway. This very line, in fact. They funded it initially. Years ago, of course. Anyway, this chap has written a book about it. I'm taking it down for my great aunt as a favour, but it's not really my sort of thing.
So why don't you like trains?
I don't really know. I suppose it's because I've always associated them with going away. Whenever I went back to school, it was by train.
Didn't you come back on the train though?
Well, yes, I suppose I did, but I seem to have forgotten about that.
May I have a look?
Be my guest. It's got pictures and everything.
Yes, I can see that. Oh, look, there's one here of Wiveliscombe where we are now. Hasn't changed much since this was taken. I expect quite a lot of people will be getting on here. We may get some people joining us.
I hope not.
Next stop will be Dulverton. See, you can follow our whole journey in your book. It's like our own travel guide.
Well, I'm glad I could be of service. I just wish I'd brought an extra copy that you could have kept. I'm Clive, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Clive. I'm Kathy Finch. How do you do? So, where did you go to school then?
Winchester. Do you know it?
Oh yes, it's a really top one, isn't it? Your parents must have wanted you to do really well.
With my great aunt, actually. My parents both died in the war.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My father was a fighter pilot, shot down in the Battle of Britain.
Gosh. I've heard about them. I never knew anyone who was one, though. That's awful. You must have been proud of him, though. And your mother?
She was a nurse. The hospital she was working in got bombed during the Blitz.
Well, it was very brave of her to be working there at all. I'm sorry. I love the trains. I travel this line as often as I can. I've loved it since I was a little girl.
Really?
Oh, hold on. There's a tunnel coming up.
Hold on.
You know what I mean? I love the tunnel.
You really do love the train, don't you?
Yes, I know this line really well. In fact, I know all of these stations. They're all familiar to me. My granddad was a stoker on the line, and there's no one knows it better than him. When I used to go up to Milverton with him to see my aunt and uncle when I was a little girl, he always used to point out things. For example, in a few minutes we've got Waterrow Viaduct coming up. In fact, I think we're there now.
Is he still alive?
Grandad? Yeah. Still lives at South Malton with Nana. Whenever I get any time, I go and visit and ask Grandad for his stories. I know my mum used to do the same when she was a little girl. Mum used to come and sit with me on the platforms as well, watch the people go by. There's always holidaymakers in the summer come to find the sunshine. There's always people to sit and wonder about.
Wonder about?
Yes! Don't you ever look at people and wonder where they're going and what they're doing?
Well, no, not really.
Oh, I do. I like to make up stories about people. I like to work out their relationships between people, whether they like each other or not, whether they've got children, what they're having for their tea. My mum used to do the same. We always used to look at the people we could see and pretend like we knew them. Don't you do that sort of thing?
No. Can't say I've ever given it a second thought.
You're like my dad then. He always says I'm away with the fairies, thinking and imagining too much. I just think it must be boring if you can't think up stories about the people that you see.
Well, I do wonder about what's inside them.
Inside what?
Well, the people. Their bodies. I'm studying medicine.
Oh.
At Oxford.
Oh, you must be really clever then.
I don't know.
Don't tell me otherwise. I don't know anyone who's studying to be a doctor. In fact, I don't know anyone who's studying to be anything important like that. All the lads down my way just they work on the farms or work on the boats down Appledore way. That really must be something. Training to be a doctor. How long have you got left to study?
Lots of years yet. I'm only in my third year.
Well, I envy you. I wish I could go away and study to do something important. Couldn't leave Dad though.
Another tunnel.
Then cross.
So, what does Kathy Finch do when she's not getting excited over tunnels or making up stories about people?
Well, I help out at home on the farm. We live just outside Barnstable. Bickington, do you know it?
No, I don't think so. So you're from a farming family then?
Yes, it's only me and Dad now. Oh, and my grandparents at South Malton, of course. They were my mum's parents. My sister got married last year. She lives Exeter way now, and my brother died when I was 6.
Oh. Oh, that's bad. I'm sorry.
He was much older than me. He died in service in northern France. Sounds bad, but I don't really remember him, if I'm honest. Although by rights I know I should. I try to remember him. I remember when Mum and Dad got the telegram, though. I felt like the world had ended.
Yes. Yes, I know. Tell me about your farm.
Really? You're interested?
Yes, of course. I mean, there's still a long journey ahead of us yet. Seems pointless to sit in silence.
Well, it's a small mixed farm. There's 3 farm workers, along with my dad and the horse, of course. One of the men drives the tractor, and then there's the cowman and the sheepman. They all just muddle together, really. We've got 12 cows, 3 sows with piglets at the moment, of course. Nearing 50 sheep, and then just the usual: ducks, geese, chickens, turkeys. And then, of course, there's corn and hay. It's just a farm, really.
Sounds idyllic.
Idyllic. It's just my life.
What do you do on the farm?
Well, I help bring the cows in for milking. They steal mouthfuls of hay from the hay bales when they walk by naughty things. And one of our cows is a kicker. You have to watch out for her. You have to be wary when you plug the teats into the machine. Then when it's ploughing time, I go out in the fields first, collect up all the stones and throw them into the hedges so the plough doesn't get damaged by them. That is a hard day, I can tell you. Picking up cold stones and heaving them out the way. Then I have to feed the chickens, often. And I have to collect their eggs twice a day. They always lay their eggs in the hedgerows, so I have to go looking for them, and that can take hours some days. And then at night time we have to chivvy them inside, keep them safe from the fox. What else is there? Sheep dipping. My dad's got this trough down at the bottom by 2 fields, sort of where there's a stream running through, using the water from the stream, you know? Sheep don't like it much. They complain. They complain when they get sheared too. But I like watching that. I like watching the men peel them out of their fleeces like jackets. It's really clever.
Sounds like you love it.
Was I going on a bit?
No, of course not. It's just, well, all the girls I know, they're clever, yes, but they never really seem to get excited about anything. And it just seems like, well, you really enjoy your life. And that's good.
I don't much like making butter though. That is exhausting. Takes hours. I'm not sorry when I have that day off. And I don't much like plucking geese either. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. We do it over a big tin bath in the yard.
Why?
Oh, so we can keep all the feathers together. My aunt comes along and collects them all up and turns them into pillows to sell them down Barnstable Market.
You've still not mentioned your mother.
Yes, she's no longer with us.
Oh. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked.
She died last year. Cancer.
Crumbs. That's really tough. I'm sorry.
It's been difficult. But she knew she was dying. Doctor told her she probably only had a few months left, so she made sure she said her goodbyes, put us all to rights. I'm glad we had that time though. It's more than I can say. You didn't get that time with your parents.
No, that's true. Here.
Oh, no, I'm all right. I won't embarrass you by crying. It's just a bit raw is all. It only happened last year.
I think you're really brave. Take it anyway. In case Teddy has an accident in his basket.
Oh, now, what have we here? CABM.
Clive Barrington Mills. At your service.
And the A?
I was hoping you wouldn't have noticed that. Aloysius. But that's just between me and you. It's all my great aunt's fault. For some odd reason, she insisted upon the name. Do you think I should take it up with her? Oh, dash. I forgot to ring her. I was supposed to call her and let her know what time the train was going to get in at Barnstable. Oh, she'll be livid. I'll never hear the end of it.
Oh, what? That's the fish prawns at Brushford. Means we'll be in Dulverton in a couple of minutes. If you're quick, you could dash out and call her on the public phone.
Are you sure there's time? Is there definitely one there?
Oh, yes, definitely. Opposite the Carnarvon Hotel.
Oh, nice. Do you reckon they'd mix me a quick daiquiri?
Don't think there's time for that. You'll have to be quick about it. But I say, it's worth a shot, Aloysius, old boy.
Now, young lady. I told you that in confidence. Now, I'm going to step off this train and make a very important phone call, which is very little short of life or death. You've not met my aunt. And then I will be back before long, before you can insult me further. Just save this seat.
Good luck. You'll have to run across the footbridge. I'll have a word with that guard. He likes you.
Excuse me, guard. Can you hold the train? My friend's just gone to make a call.
Has he now? Well, he's cutting it fine.
He won't be long. Please, can we hold the train?
Oh, just a couple of minutes then.
Excuse me, guard, what's the delay?
Oh, it won't be a minute, sir.
Thank you.
Hush now, Teddy. We'll be back home and at the farm again soon. I wish I had some food to give him. Only I didn't expect to be bringing him back with me.
Yes. You never did say why you brought a kitten on the train.
We've got cousins in Milverton. They knew we had a litter of kittens we were trying to sell, and they had friends said they'd take the lot. So this morning I brought down Teddy, 3 sisters and 1 brother. We weren't called Teddy then, of course. I don't like to name them if I know we're going to give him away. You get too attached. My dad always regretted the day that my mum named one of our turkeys Mary. You know, because of the Christmas connection. Dad could never sell that turkey on at Christmas. I think my mum did it on purpose, if I'm honest. No, this basket was a lot heavier this morning than it is now, I can tell you.
Then why is Teddy so favoured that he's coming home with you?
Oh, yes, I didn't get to that part, did I? When I got there, my cousin's friend was there. They said they liked all of them, but not Teddy. Said he looked a bit runty. So they only had the other 4. No. He's a little bit smaller than the rest, but I reckon he's just a late grower. I wasn't going to argue with him, though. He's always been my favourite.
Will your dad mind you bringing him home?
Dad? No. He's a big softy. If you can't sell a turkey at Christmas named Mary, then you're not going to mind one more kitten running about the place. No, he won't mind.
I don't know why. I always thought farmers were a bit hard like that. That they'd drown kittens or something if they didn't want them. I'm sorry, Teddy, but you've gotten off lightly, I can tell you.
Not my dad. You know, one of my first memories of him, when I realised what a big softie he was when I caught him talking to the rabbits he trapped. He trapped them out in the fields. He did it during the war to send them on the train to London. A lot of the local farmers did it. They'd trap the rabbits and then they'd take them to the station alive, and then they'd be killed and skinned and prepared and everything on the train, all fresh like, to feed people in the war down in London. So there was my dad, talking to the rabbits from our farm, explaining to them about the war effort and that. Sweet, really. You'd be cross at me for telling you, though.
I quite like the sound of it. I'm a little bit of a softie too, I think.
Do you think that's why you're studying medicine?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it like that. I've always wanted to be a doctor, ever since I was young. Something to do with what happened to my parents, I think. I've always wanted to do something that would really make a difference.
Your mum would be really proud of you. You said she was a nurse?
Yes. She trained as a nurse initially. Gave it up for some years while she was married, of course. But then joined up during the war again, like so many others did. I don't remember much about my parents, but I'm sure they gave me a good sense that I needed to do something that really mattered.
Well, being a doctor definitely matters.
Yes. And I'm really enjoying it. But it's so much work, and there really is so much to remember. I don't even know what I want to specialise in yet.
Do you have to decide that now?
No, not really. But I'd just like a sense of direction. It'll be emergency medicine, I think. But I'm still not sure.
What's emergency medicine exactly?
Well, accidents, traumas, war victims, that sort of thing.
Why that?
Not sure. Probably because of my parents, really. I remember when I was a little boy thinking that I wish there was something I could have done. It's silly, I know. What could have a little boy truly done? Finch, I would hate to alarm you, but you've just missed another tunnel.
Cancer.
I'm sorry.
Cancer. Cancer treatment and cure. That's what I'd do if I was clever enough to be a doctor.
Because of your mother?
Yes, because of Mum.
Yes. Yes, I can see that.
Can you?
Yes, of course.
By the way, we're at Philly Viaduct now. Isn't that near where you live? Can you see your house?
Yes. Yes. Just up the hill and through the forest there.
Oh, crumbs. It's that house. Oh, your family must be really rich.
Well, they've got a few bob, yes, but that's not important right now. You were saying about what I should specialise in?
Yes. I mean, what happened to your family was tragic and that, but even if you were a fantastic emergency doctor, you couldn't have saved them, could you? I mean, it's peacetime now. The war's over. I dare say there'll be other wars and other people's loved ones and families will be killed in tragic ways, but no amount of emergency medicine's gonna save them, is it? No, it strikes me that cancer is the real enemy we're fighting now. I mean, it's supposed to be peacetime. We went through the war. Everyone was happy and relieved, and we came out the other side. But the fact still remains that cancer is killing good and lovely people. That's what you should specialise in. Cancer.
Have you still got my handkerchief?
Oh, I'm alright, thanks. Oh, sorry. It is none of my business what you specialise in. Please ignore me.
Well, there's no chance of that.
Pardon?
Thank you, Kathy. I promise I will seriously consider what you've just said. You've really got me thinking.
You've got me thinking too.
Someday I'm gonna write the story of my life. I'll tell about the night we met and how my heart can't forget the way you smiled at me. I'd like the world to know the story of my life. The moment when your lips met mine, and that first exciting time I held you close to me. Sorrow in our love was breaking up, the memory of a broken heart. Later on the joy of making up, never, never more to part. There's one thing left to do for my stories. I've got to take you for my wife, so this story of my life can start and end with you.
Well done, Clive. Quickly now. We have to get back to the house. Everybody is waiting for you. How was the journey?
Afternoon, William.
Sir?
Good afternoon, Aunt Virginia. Rather enjoyable, actually. Fascinating, in fact. And I brought your book. Look.
I should hope so. Clive, who was that girl that got off the train with you? Did you know her?
I didn't know her, but I do now. Her name's Kathy Finch, and she's rather delightful. And you might just find, Aunt, that I invite her back to tea.
And the rest, as they say, is history. Changed how I felt about the railway after that chance encounter on the Taunton to Barnstaple line.
And it was that journey that also made you set your sights on specialising in cancer?
Indeed. Never looked back. And Kathy still reminds me that I have her to thank for my career.
You married Kathy?
Well, yes, indeed. Well, I invited her up for tea the very next day, and we were engaged within a year. It took a while to convince my great-aunt Virginia that she was the right one for me. But she came round in the end, especially when I reminded her that it was only because of her damned insistence on my catching the train that day in June that I had met her at all. So I guess that I have my great-aunt Virginia and the Devon and Somerset Railway to thank for decades of happy marriage.
Well, Sir Clive, just before we finish, I'm dying to know, what happened to Teddy?
Teddy. Well, he did become known as Bear in the end, but he certainly wasn't a runt. Oh no, he stayed with us for best part of 20 years.
I love it. Sir Clive, it has been an absolute pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in to see us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
The memories you gave me, you can't beat. The memories you gave me, Take one fresh and tender kiss and one stolen night of bliss. One girl, one boy, some grief, some joy, memories are made of this. Oh baby, let me be your loving teddy bear. Oh, put a chain around my neck and lead me anywhere. Oh, let me be your teddy bear. I don't wanna be a tiger, 'cause tigers play too rough. I don't wanna be a lion, 'cause lions ain't the kind you love enough. Just wanna be your teddy bear. Oh, put a chain around my neck and lead me anywhere. Oh, let me be your teddy bear. Oh baby, let me be around you every night. Oh, run your fingers through my hair and cuddle me real tight. Oh, let me be your teddy bear. I don't wanna be a tiger, 'cause tigers play too rough. I don't wanna be a lion, 'cause lions ain't the kind you love enough. Just wanna be your teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck and leave me anywhere.